A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Curious Minds. The topic for today is part 3 of the challenges of cultural diversity, and this is chapter 6 of class 12th. Before we start, if you like the video, do share and subscribe the channel. Do support us. If you have any recommendations, any doubt, do write it in the comment section. And if I have used short forms, please do not use them and make notes along with the video. So, without any further ado, let's start with it. Okay, so cultural diversity and the Indian nation state, an overview. Now, Indian nation state is a socially and culturally one of the most diverse countries of the world. We all know that. And there are approximately 1,632 different languages and dialects. And regarding religion, this is the recent data, okay? So Hinduism like 79.8%, Islam is 14.2%. India is the world's third largest Muslim country after Indonesia and Pakistan, okay? And Sikhism is 1.72%, Christian is 2.3%, Buddhism is 0.7%, and Jainism is 0.37%. So India does not fit in this assimilationist or integrationist model. We already did it. If you haven't read it, if you haven't yet understood it, do go back to part 2 of this chapter on our channel only. Okay, so if you're unable to understand it, you can try and understand it from there. See, India is a secular state, okay, but religion, culture, etc., they are not banished from public sphere. So our constitution tries and protects the minorities. We all know that, right? So India can be understood as a state nation, wherein nations here nation is more like ethnic, religious, linguistic, and indigenous identities. Okay, so they can coexist peacefully, cooperatively in a single state polity. So India's constitution, it incorporates this notion only. Okay, although India is culturally diverse, it has been very cohesive. Okay, and we have survived as a nation. So India's problems have been less in the sphere of laws and principles and more in the sphere of implementation and practice. So let's move on and understand 6.2 of the chapter 2, regionalism in Indian context. Now, regionalism, it can be seen in India's diversity of languages, cultures, tribes, and religions, right? And like, for example, when somebody asks you, like, which region do you belong to? Okay, you will not say, I belong to the, a particular place or a particular state. You will more likely say, I belong to, like, maybe North India. Okay, I belong to northeast of, sometimes you will also say a state, or sometimes you would say, I belong to a particular section. For example, Jammu and Kashmir, you would say, I belong to the Jammu region of J&K state. Okay, so so this is what is regionalism. Okay, now regionalism is encouraged by, firstly, it is seen in diversity. Then it is encouraged by geographical concentration of these identity markers in particular regions. Okay, sometimes they're concentrated in a particular area, and sometimes this regionalism is fueled by a sense of regional deprivation. Why regional deprivation? Maybe they are deprived of natural resources, or maybe they're deprived of government funds, right? So Indian federalism has been the means of accommodating these regional sentiments, right? So what happens is, after independence, we all know that initially Indian state was divided into presidencies. Now presidencies, what was presidency? A presidency was basically a British and Indian arrangement. Presidencies were large, multi-ethnic, multilingual provincial states constituting the major political administrative units of semi-federal state called Union of India, right? So these were presidencies. Then we have, for example, we have Bombay, we have Madras. Let's understand Bombay, like it was a multilingual state of Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada, Konkani, right? We have Madras, it was Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. So all these different languages speaking people resided in a particular presidency. Along with presidencies, there were a number of princely states and principalities all over India. Firstly, don't use NO dot, okay? Please use number. But soon after, what happened? After the adoption of constitution, all these units had to be reorganized into ethno-linguistic states in response to strong popular agitations. We all know that. Okay, so you would understand, linguistic reorganization of states that has happened. So therefore, it was the language and regional and tribal entity which played as a powerful instrument in the formation of ethno-national identity in India, right? But not all linguistic communities, sorry, have got statehood. Now, for instance, we have in the year 2000, okay, in the year 2000, three states were created. We have Chhattisgarh, Uttaranchal, and Jharkhand. Now, here, these states were not created solely on the basis of language, but rather a combination of ethnicity, tribal identity, language, regional deprivation, ecology. Okay, so all these together resulted in the formation of these states. See, now what do you have to do to respect regional sentiments? You just don't have to create states. Okay, so then these states need to be backed up with an institutional structure. There needs to be an institutional structure in place that ensures their viability as autonomous units within a larger federal structure, right? For example, in constitutional provisions, we have the seventh schedule. It defines and specifies the allocation of powers and functions between union and state. We have three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. For the subjects in the union list, only union can take decisions regarding it. For the state list, only state can, and concurrent, both union and state can decide regarding the subjects that are in the concurrent list. So this is how you respect regional sentiments. Okay. Now, federal system has worked fairly well for India. We all know that. How? Because we have tried to incorporate, like, states act as their autonomous units, and despite of diversity, despite of different states, we still have, we still, we are surviving as a nation. Okay, but there are certain challenges. Now, since the era of liberalization, what has happened is there are rising concerns about higher, increasing interregional economic and infrastructural inequality, or in other words, regional disparities, right? Why it is there? Because private investment has higher role in economic development. Here again, short forms are used. Private investment has higher role in economic development, but private investors, they want to invest in already developed states only. Why would they invest in a state which is underdeveloped or in a developing, you know stage? So why? Because they want to maximize profit. Now that they want to maximize profit, what happens is regional equity gets diluted. So this is where state comes into existence. This is where state has to come into the arena, okay? Because of regional disparity. Okay? So state has to face the challenge of regional disparity and inequality. So market economy, it tends to increase the gap between developed and backward regions, as we can already see. So fresh public initiatives are a must. Okay, so this is regionalism in context of India. Okay, and we've understood India as a state nation. This is it for the video. So, like, if you have any doubts, do write it in the comment section. If you have any recommendations, also write those. And please don't forget to support the channel. And those who are already supporting, thanks for your support. Please stay home, stay safe, and study hard. Thank you.